home, Emma. Nope. So
I feel the pain. I feel your pain because
Yeah. It's hard because sometimes it's just a quick, it stops, like for Micah, it stops him immediately.
it
you know?
absolutely does.
Like
And
he can,
sometimes it just I've tried to at school, I'm really getting much better. So it's just as soon as I see them do something that it's a watch me. And then they get as soon as they come over and oh good boy, that's it. So it's just a redirection of
Yeah.
a different cue as soon as they start to do something they're not supposed to do. So that's what I'm training myself to do, because
Yeah.
that's all of training. Half of it
Yep.
is training us.
Yep.
So
for
yeah,
sure.
I get reprimanded at least twice a week at work. So,
Yeah.
now, do you really want to use that? No, I don't. I'm sorry.
yes,
Well,
yes,
see, I
because
would
I don't
say-
know. I don't know what the next thing I want him to do yet is. I just know I don't want him to do that.
So watch me has always been a good one because it automatically brings them back to me, because that's one of the first skills that we train all the dogs on campus
Yeah,
is a watch me.
that's a good go-to.
Yeah. So as soon as they start to sniff something they're not supposed to do, if you don't say a leave it, or it's instead it's like watch me, and they just if they redirect right away towards you, then you can give them the praise for completing that skill. So
Right.
just so you know what I'm trying to do on my own end.
Yeah. That's, yep.
The struggle is real.
Yes,
It
the
sure
struggle
is.
real. Okay. I think we said this earlier, but we never, ever, ever want to force our dog to do anything. So for instance, we should not be pushing their butts down to make them sit. That's where their name, command, giving them wait time. And then as they're sitting, because they know that command, you're saying yes, or good job, or that's it. So we're never forcing them. We're also not dragging them. We want them to see a balloon, or we want them to see a paper bag. We're never forcing them. Okay. The goal is to expose them gently. Okay.
And when they mule, well, stop, dead weight, not going.
Yep. And they will.
And sometimes you're on a mission. You need to be going, or it's not a safe place for them to be doing that. You might have to back up and go the other way if they'll do that. And if they're little, you might have to scoop them up and get them out of the way. But you don't drag them.
Nope. Nope. Don't drag them. Don't force them, because then chances are they'll be scared of that thing forever, whatever it is.
And sometimes they mule and you can't figure out what in the world.
Right.
The middle of Walmart in the aisle. You've been here a million times. What?
Yep. Always set your dogs up for success. That's the goal. Set them up to be successful, so you can end with a yes, that's it. If you're doing a training and something's not working and the dog just doesn't seem to get it for whatever reason, go back to something they can do, and then be done. Don't continue on, because you're just going to frustrate the dog and yourself. And yourself. Yes. In regards to busy, so busy is their peeing command. A lot of people ask, oh, my dog sniffs all over the place. So the goal would be, think about who their recipient might be. This dog might end up with somebody in a wheelchair, might end up with somebody with mobility issues. They aren't stable while walking. And so what I have been doing for a long time is I'll give my dog a chance to smell in an area, but I don't let him walk me all over the place. I give him a space to smell. Okay, you've got this 5 feet, you smell. And if you're busy there, great. And if not, okay, now you're going to come back next to me. We're going to walk a little farther, and then, you busy again. Or you can smell again, but their smelling is on my call, not theirs, because they will smell everything everywhere if you allow them to. And think about somebody in a wheelchair is not going to be able to do that. So keep that in mind.
And if they have to busy, you don't have to walk 50 yards one direction and another 100 yards the other direction. You can stand on the sidewalk and hold their leash, and they get a 180 of space of the distance of the leash. And if they have to go, they can find an acceptable spot in that area. And if they don't find the spot in that area, they didn't have to go very bad. But for a person in a chair, they can't be, okay, you don't like it there, let's go over here, let's wander out. No, they need to know, okay, now's the time, here's your opportunity. Okay, all right, that's it, here we go. And they'll learn really quickly that if they got to go, it's time.
So recall is when you call the dog to you. You might be out in the backyard. You might be, so when you're out in public, the dog is not going to be off leash. The dog might be off leash in your house. The dog might be off leash in the backyard. So recall is when you call their name and they come to you. We all should be practicing that in the house, outside of the house, or out in the backyard, in places where the dog will be safe. But only call your dog to you, only say come, whatever, Sazu come, whatever, when you know they're going to come to you. If that means you put a treat in your hand or a squeaky ball in your hand or something that's going to force them, then use whatever it takes, but lots of praise when they do. Some dogs are going to come just when you say it, and other dogs aren't, especially if they're out playing and they don't have their vest on. They're not going to want to come. Yeah. Yep. I have a container of treats in it, and I will be out. We have but near our RV, we have a big space where the dogs can run. And I trust Micah and Quinn to be off leash for a few minutes, Quinn forever. But, and then when I can tell Micah's got it in his brain that, oh, this is fun, I'm not going to come to her, I say, Micah, and I shake it. I don't say come, I just shake the treats. And then when I see him decide, I can tell he's deciding he's going to come to me. As soon as he makes the run towards me, then I say, yes, come. And he runs to me and I treat him immediately and we get lots of praise. I never get upset with him if he doesn't come, because then a dog goes, oh, you called me to come and then you got mad at me when I didn't, or you got mad at me because I came to you long after, or, you know, they don't think through that whole thing, but
they don't get the
know.
because.
Yeah, that's right. Yep. So you've got to decide if you're going to tell them to come, if you're going to use that command, you better darn well know they're going to come. And if they're not, then don't say it. Go
and it's
out,
a great game in the
them.
house.
Yes, it's a great game to play hide and seek and call your dog to come. So
Wendy's a little limited in that right
yes,
now, because
yes.
there's not a lot of hiding places where she lives. But if you lived in a house or an apartment, I mean, just stepping behind a door or in a closet or in one room or hide in the bathtub or and call your dog to come. And then it's just an adventure and they think, oh, well, that's a great game.
Yes.
When they're outside and you call them to come, then yes, good job, good come, and throw the ball or let them go back out so that every time they come, when they come out of the backyard, it's not, oh, the party's over.
Right.
You want to vary it so that they don't know when the party's going to be over, but they come every time.
Yep. Also, dogs don't generalize. I know we've talked about that a lot. Just because they sit perfectly in your kitchen does not mean they're going to sit perfectly at Target or at Chick-fil-A or so you want to practice those skills a lot at home, especially if you're a new racer and the dog is new to you. You're going to want to practice those basic commands at your house and then go, okay, I think I can take them out. But they don't just because they did it in one place or understood it in one place doesn't mean they're going to do it in another place. So really practicing at home is super important. Just something went out of my head. Darn it. Okay. Everybody should be crate training. Hopefully you're crate training. You're putting your dog in a crate. So if you have an older dog and you want to put a dog in a crate one night and then let them stay out another night, that's fine. If you have a puppy, or if you have a new dog, you just got the dog, I would get to know them first before you allow them to stay out of the crate. They've been crated all of their life. They know that the crate is their safe space, and it's perfectly fine to crate them.
And I
Now-
think some of us found that our dogs, particularly if they just came out of prison, may be accustomed to eating their supper in their crate. It's a great spot. You can get them to kennel and sit and wait, and they sit right there and they drool, and then you release and they get their supper. Actually, I know that advanced training, the dogs have to down and head down and wait to be released. So if you've got a dog that has been at advanced training, or they might be expecting to have to lay down with their head down before they eat.
Yes,
So if you
and
see that,
go ahead.
no, if you see it, that's probably why it is. And what you need to remember is to have them wait, and then don't forget to release.
Right. Yeah. And I would make them do some skills before you feed them. Don't just hand them the food. That food at that point is their paycheck. You have to work for your paycheck. They should have to too. Don't just put the food down and let them go to it. I'd make them sit. I'd make them down. Whatever. My dogs, every time they have to sit, they have to watch me, wait, and they have to watch me.
Yep.
And I might wait 30 seconds. I might wait a minute. I might use words like Red Rover or
she's
something
so
that's
mean.
not release. But my dogs know the word is release. So the word to release your dog to food is not okay. It's release, because that lets them know, okay, I can eat.
And you
but
can whisper it.
Mhm.
You can say it loud.
You can sing it.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
Okay, a couple more things before we go to the video. So we just realized recently that sitting on the floor with your dog would be super important. We found that our dogs are getting very excited when we get on the floor, which would make sense because most of the time we're standing or sitting. If you're able to, and you can get back up,
I have a plan.
Try to sit on the floor with them, or even lay on the floor with them. At first, they're going to be like, oh, and they're going to be freaked out. But the more we do it, the better they're going to get at settling right away. And we just noticed that with some of our dogs, they're just so excited when we get on the floor that they can't settle. So we decided that that might be something new that needs to be added in, that we're doing on a fairly regular basis, so that us sitting on the floor is not such a big deal. Because a lot of times our kids who are autistic and getting a dog, the first time the kid gets on the floor with them, the dog is like, oh my God, because that hasn't happened a lot in their training. So we're going to insert that now. So, and if you can't do it, you're like, I know I can't get on the floor. Find somebody who can, a grandchild, a neighbor, somebody who's willing to get on the floor with the dog. They don't really have to do anything, maybe get the dog to settle, but the goal is to just get the dog to lay down and chill, and you be on the floor with them. I know it sounds simple, but believe me, it's interesting. The other thing is mirrors. Mirrors. Let your dog see mirrors. Look at him, and don't reassure him. Oh, like if they start to bark, we don't say, oh, it's okay, you're all right. We say, it's a dog. That's you. Like what? And then sometimes I'll get in the mirror with the dog. Look, see, it's mom. You and mom, we're in the mirror. And I'm just very matter of fact about it. But we've heard some dogs are struggling with mirrors. So, and those might be things that we don't ever think about until somebody brings them up to us.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be a mirror. It can be a reflective glass.
Mirror.
Thank you. You're going by a storefront, and if there's a tinting on the window, it may reflect, and you may not notice it, or it may not be happening up where your eye level is, but where the dogs are, it's a reflection, and they're seeing this other dog all of a sudden, and yeah, it can make them be a little crazy.
Yes, and the last thing is, and we said this earlier, not saying commands over and over again. Micah, sit, 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 sit. It doesn't mean anything to the dog. So you really have to think, okay, what command am I going to use? And I got to give my dog wait time. So Micah, Micah, Micah. Totally ignoring me. Micah, stand. Yes, good boy. So as soon as I went to a happy voice, he stood. Okay. I only had to say his name a couple of times. What's up? But I only had to say the command once. So the goal is to say their name, say the command, or just the command. But the goal is not to say it over and over again, because eventually, you know, it's like our kids. We say, clean this, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room, clean your room. And that, you know, do they clean their room? No. So yes, give the dog wait time. That's super important. So if you say it, Micah, stand. And he doesn't, I'm going to wait a second because I know he's thinking about it. Right now he's looking at me going, I'm standing, you dummy. Micah, sit. Yes, good boy. I did a good boy. Yes, lots of praise. Lots of praise.
And what Micah is habituated to doing while Wendy's on a Zoom is laying quietly, because when she's tutoring or when that's what he's expected to do. So now she's pulling him out of what he's been normally expected to do. And he's looking at her like, hey, lady, I'm supposed to just lay here. What are you doing?
That's right. Exactly. Yes. Okay. So the video we're going to show is about leash walking and kind of what to do when you head out of your house, when you're going to walk your dog. So this person is from McCann Dog Training, and she's really good at, if you get a chance to listen, she's got some really good podcasts. She doesn't necessarily use the exact same commands we use. It's okay, but you'll get the idea from what she's trying to do. So
and just think about what commands we would insert when you watch.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. And
how late is this open? That's not busy.
Da, 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 da.
yes.
Da, 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 bum, ba, da, 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 dum, dum, dum.
All right. And let's see. Okay. Nope, that's the wrong one. Where is it? Right here. Okay. Can you see it? Yes.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go.
You make it full screen.
Taking a dog for a walk is one of the things I most enjoy with my canine partners, but not when I'm being pulled. And dogs need exercise, and walking is a fantastic way to do that. Hi, I'm Instructor Carol. This is Freya, and it's like a meeting for help. Freya has a problem. Freya's a puller. At McCann Dogs, we talk about taking your dog for a walk and teaching your dog how to walk are two different things. And it all starts before we take the first step. We're going to head inside and look how it's done.
Now, Freya's pretty excited to go out, and that's pretty common. Your dog just want to explode out that door because going outside is fun. So if I open the door, you see she is ready to blast. So I'm going to hold that leash, but she can't actually get out until she looks at it. And why do I care about that? She is so focused on the outside. Nothing else exists but getting through that door. If I just hold her here, it's like a magic sports field. At some point, she's going to stare out there, and then she's going to go, what the heck? And she's going to look at me. And when she looks at me, I'm going to immediately say, okay. So it's doing a couple of things. One, in order for her to look at me, she needs to control herself, which means she's not as wild. And two, she's learning there's some rules going through that door. Hey, girlie, what's that?
So think about your dogs, and when you go for a walk or you get ready to go out the door, do they respond like this? Are they in a heel position? Think about what happens when you go out the door to go for a walk. Okay, now notice she's not dragging her backwards. She's just holding the dog in a stop position, basically. Okay. Also, so see where she checked in? And she said, good girl. So that's where you would use your marker.
The girl, the last time I said, okay, and she got to go out just for looking. So that's great. She's a little calmer when she does that, and she's starting to learn, don't just blast out, you need to look. And that will happen really, really fast. And do it again, and she also needs to learn after the look, when I say all right, it doesn't mean guys bomb out and drag me out. So if that happens, all it means is I'm gonna come back in. She didn't earn her win. She didn't get in me to go out, go directly to jail, back inside, do not pass go, you not collect $200, you try it again.
So again, see, she's holding her steady. She's not dragging her backwards. She's waiting.
She's not saying, Freya, Freya, Freya. She's not saying anything.
Yep. I love how you can see the dog with the outdoor camera.
Ah,
Not like that. You don't go outside like that.
okay, that'd be dragging her.
Yep. Yep. So there I probably would have called her name, Freya, let's go. And I would have encouraged her to come back in. I wouldn't have, she does, I know, gently push on the leash. So, but just be aware of that. So you can what?
Dogs are smart at figuring out how to get what they want. Now I'm just gonna open that hand. All right. Oh, I know.
But she checked in so much quicker that time.
Yeah.
You see, she looked at me a little quicker that time. So we try it again. Oh, yes, all right. What? That's better. Try that again.
So you see, this takes patience, persistence. I mean, this lady, how many times has she done it now? But you'll notice the dog's checking in much quicker.
Notice how fast she looked at me. She didn't even try to get out. Stopped and she looked at me very quickly, and she went out much calmer that time. You can see she's still excited about going out. Last time she didn't blast out, even on the all right, she's a little better. This time I'm actually going to reward that choice. If she gives it to me again, when I open the door, really, and she opens the door, I'm actually going to treat it and inch that same pause and look. Yes, get that girly. And I'm going to throw back inside the house, letting her know that was a fantastic choice. It's also a safety issue. I don't want my dog thinking the door is open, they should just blast out. That's a good girl. All right. Yeah, and now she's not blasting too. All right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Good girl. So good girl. Now I'm going to earn her some freedom. Now, you can see the difference. When I took that little bit of time, I got her to understand to blast out of the door, which is also a safety issue. I don't want my dog flying out. She learned not to go out on that tight leash. Now, see how much calmer she is. Then when I opened that door, she exploded out and dragged me across the yard. I can't deal with that, but I can deal with it.
How you doing?
So now I'm set up for better success on walking. You know what?
Okay.
Sneak out a treat. I'm going to show her that treat. Yes, good girl. And then I'm going to give her some treats. Okay, you can go sniff. You can go sniff. Again, she's not nearly as wild. I could also do that response name, and I don't need to use Freya. Yeah. Oh, good girl. What a good girl. Yes. Oh, you're so brilliant. Okay, you can go check out. Go check out. So instead of fighting her for that attention, you can see, like first time, now she's way more attentive. Now, girly, what do you see over there? There's a person. So she's a lot more attentive. She's not even pulling when she sees a person go past. That is so nice. What do I work that response to name? Well, eventually, I'd like to have my dog off leash. So having a perfect response to name is huge. The other thing is, I just built some relationships. I might grab another treat for this one because there's a tough distraction. And I'm going to say it first. Freya, show her that treat. Yes, good girl. So she just listened to her name 3 times. perfectly. First one, second one, she responded. Can you say that about your young dog? So we're building a pattern. Every time I hear my name, despite there's someone walking past or there's a bird over there, I respond. And look at the attention she's giving me. So much different from that first part where I let her explode out. Now that I've got that attention, now I can actually work some walking. Are you ready, girly? Even with distraction, could we? Yes, let's go. Good girl. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, good girly. What a girl. You're brilliant. Yeah. Woo. Oh, and I'm just gonna guide her back. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. And
So I feel like there's a big difference there in, she just said guiding the dog back. I feel like there's a big difference in that as opposed to dragging a dog back to you. So we just want to be very mindful of not dragging our dogs around, not forcing them. You know, Laura mentioned earlier, if it's an emergency and you have to stop the dog from heading towards danger, that's one thing. But here, and she's working her so nicely. That's one of the strategies we use when we are trying to work on loose leash walking, where she's looping like that. And Freya seems to be getting it nicely. Yes, we do have a Freya in our program, by the way. This is not her.
And good girl. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. And I could even reward that. Good girl. So I just did 10 steps. Still not a lot of exercise. So maybe now it's a chance to give her a little more exercise, but she's practicing walking on a loose leash. But now instead of responding to me, what if I produce, oh, Freya, you want that thing? Oh, good stuff. Oh, you want that? You want that? You ready? Go get that. Yes, good girl. Oh, get that one. Oh, yes, good girlie. Oh, I got you. I got you. Ready? Set. Run with her so that leash doesn't go tight. Freya, get it. Get it. Yes, good girlie. Woohoo. Freya, yes. Ready? Get that thing. Get that thing. We'll get it moving. Get more exciting. Yes. Oh, good girlie. Oh, yes. Good work. And, oh, good girl. So look at the attention I've got on my dog now. Again, maybe we do a little walking. Ready? In here. Let's go. Let's go. Yes. Oh, good girl. And I can reward her. Yes. Ready? Let's go. I'm just going to touch her. Woohoo. Yes. Ready? Oh, good girl. Yes. Look at that attention. So she's out here. There's lots going on. There's animals, there's people. And she's still saying, I can walk on a loose leash instead of pulling me all over the place. So much better than the first time we came out. She's able to keep that leash pretty loose, but still really distracted, not able to focus on me. So I know when there's tough distractions, car going by, if we're walking, I'm probably still going to see that tight leash. And what are you going to do if your dog still, even though you've done that opening, still pulling? So I'm going to show you now. I tried to use my voice. It wasn't enough. So I'm going to show you how I use the leash. I'm not punishing her at all. I want to teach my dog. It's fun to walk at my side, but I can give my dog some great information. I want the leash, if you picture an arrow from her clip of her collar right to where I want her walking. If I add tension that way, it's going to give her information. And dogs want information. So let's see how it works. Are you ready? Let's go. So if she goes that way, I'm just going to add tension. Yes. Good girl. That's better. Yes. Ready? Yes. Oh, yeah. Yes. Let's go. Yes. Good girly. Get up here. Yeah. What a good girl. Ready, ready, ready. Go. Oops. Let's go. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Very good. So you can see she didn't mind those pulses at all, but that tension back to me. And even if my dog's pulling me, I'm going to stop. I'm going to have that tension. I'm just going to use my hips to turn my dog, keep that tension towards me in the way I need my dog to move. I can turn and go the other way if she's getting distracted. Yes. See that head come up? Yes. I'm going to turn, tension up to where I need it. Yes. Good girl. And I could even now, yes, and reward her. I could reward her with a toy and some play. I could reward her with it. Okay, go sniff. Go check it out. Let her be a dog for a little bit. I could reward her by playing with her. a number of things I can do. So she's getting some exercise. Look at the attention I'm getting versus that wild and crazy dog that we started with. So what's walking training look like? I'm still 10 feet from the door. I have not gone very far. So we need to break it down. Yeah, it's success. Now she said she's going to be tired tonight. One, she doesn't know me, so working with me is a little different. But that ability to stop at the door and look at me instead of bursting out, that ability to walk outside on a loose leash calmly, that impulse control that she applied to herself actually is going to tire her out hugely. But I also want to get her some physical exercise. She wasn't super keen about the retrieving. So now I'm going to look for another option so that I can also get her some physical exercise. Time for some recall training. Now, who's saying, what the heck? I tuned in because I want to learn how to walk my dog on a loose leash. Why is she doing recall? Well, one, I want my dog or Freya to get some exercise. Two, my dog's now going to be rehearsing, totally ignoring everything but me when we're outside, meaning loose leash walking is way, way easier. I always like to pattern perfect responses. So we're going to make sure Freya does a perfect response to come. I've got a handful of treats. I'm going to hold her back, show her the treats, freeze and say, come, woohoo. And she gets a little run, not a long one, but she is so successful. I'm going to pay off those treats. Oh, I dropped one. What a bad handler I am. Really? Yeah. Get attention again. Yes. Good. And then I quickly do another one. Ready, come. Woohoo. Yes. Good. And maybe this time I'm even going to run a little bit. Maybe this time I'll even run. Good stuff. Ready, set, come. Woo! Yes, good girly. Good girl. Excellent. And you know what? I'm 15 feet from the door. We made it and we still have attention. Yes, we do. Ready? Get in here. Yes. Good girl. Let's go. Look at that walking happening. Yes. Good girl. Is that the same dog that came through that door the first time? Freya is not my dog, but you can see we've already built a pretty good relationship, I think, Freya. I think so, in a short time. So those little games, those attention games, build so much value and attention on us. I also have a dog that's a little tired and much calmer. So I'm mixing that up with my training. Now, I'm still not ready to take Freya for a mile walk. My arm just wouldn't handle it, Freya. And there's still times she's going to really pull when she sees a squirrel or maybe, you know, another dog. But think how fast I got her to come out the door calmly. That didn't take very long. And I got some pretty good attention and a few steps of walking in. So think about how fast it'll be. How many days will it be? Each day, I'm going to work a little farther from the door. I'm going to work a few more steps at a time between my little game. And pretty soon, you know what? We'd be able to go for a mile walk, Freya. So Freya and I didn't get out for our mile walk, but we got out on this gorgeous day, enjoying it outside. Freya got some exercise, so she's going to be tired tonight. And getting out and doing more with your dog is what our sponsor of today's video really believes.
Okay. So I hope, I thought there were some really, really good points in there. It's all about consistency and working with your dog on a regular basis. You know, you could just start with at the door. I don't know where your dogs are at. Micah happens to be not a burster outer at the door at this point. When I first got him a month ago, he was, but and when we open the door, he's, you know, I'm in an RV, so he's immediately sees nature. So, but he's gotten pretty good at not bursting out the door. I just say, wait. So think about your dog, the dog that you're raising right now, is that something that you need to work on with them? Is there anybody that has any questions in regards to that? She thought her commands were okay. I didn't see anything that was too glaring that we wouldn't use, but is there anybody that has any questions?
Coming in here, Miriam, I know you had some questions about Capone and walking and seeing other dogs more so, but maybe you want to ask that right now. Oh, you got to unmute yourself. You hold on. You got to, are you muted? Yep, you're muted.
Okay, he's doing great with that. He he likes to walk with his leash in his mouth. And I was going to ask him if that's something that I need to break him of, because when I find that he has his leash in his mouth, he is in the mode of working, and then he practically ignores any dog that's walking across the street or comes up to him or anything like that. And
So
but when he
since-
doesn't have his leash in his mouth, he's still good. We're working on approaching dogs at a slow, level, slow, and saying, make friends, it's okay, and he has just been fantastic. He has not growled at any dogs. He has not barked at any dogs. I guess he's getting comfortable, being outside. I'm walking him 3-4 times a day.
So those of you that are on need to know that Capone is a re-careered dog. Okay.
Yeah.
He's going to be used in therapy. So the
Right.
leash in the mouth is something we don't try to get our dogs to do when they're younger, because a lot of times it's about control. If you feel like that helps him keep focus, then that would be your call.
Okay.
The rest of us that are on here, because our dogs are in training, we
Right.
should not be allowing our dogs to take hold of the leash, because very often it's they want control.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, if they're puppies, I'll let them do it for a little bit. Let them hold it in their mouth, and then I'll be like, okay, you're done, and I take the control back.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Laura, go ahead and take it first.
I've got to go. Oh, by the way, winner chicken dinner. Our winners tonight are Samantha and Sirius, Suzanne and Bunker. Yay! So when I see you all,
Thank you.
when I see you all at the training, which will be Friday, May the 12th,
I will be there.
and the training is ride the train from the Sunrail, from wherever is closest to you, to the Winter Park station. And when I see you on the 12th, I will pay off. You might have to remind me, but I will. Okay. We aren't going to be in Winter Park long. If you all want to stay and have dinner or dessert or whatever, that's fine. But I'm going to try to honor your time and understand that you got on a train at about 7, you traveled some distance, you're going to be there for a little bit, and I'm going to try to get you back on a train and back home in that 7 to 9 2-hour window. If you choose to stay out late on a Friday night, that's up to you. But it will not be a requirement. And I've got a jet, I got a student. It's good to see y'all.
Thank
Hi, Laura.
you.
Thank you.
I've got a quick question about getting on the train and off the train with Ryder.
Uh-huh.
Do I tell the dog to go through and get on first, or we get on at the same time?
So you'll say you'll be waiting, the train will pull up. And basically I think when I've gotten on the train, I've just said, let's go. And we both get on together, because the door opening is very wide.
Okay, thank
So
you.
both of you can get on together.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Good question. Yeah, I probably would step on the train with the dog. I think there's a ramp, trying to remember. But yeah, you shouldn't have any problem getting on the train at the same time. Yeah, and then you'll want your dog to go in and tuck under a seat, and the expectation is that they will tuck under the seat and stay there until you get off. So keep in mind, if your dog seems a little concerned for whatever reason, because there are lots of noises, we don't say, it's okay, you're all right. We don't use those terms. We're just very matter of fact. It's a train, we're on a train, you're fine. I don't even say you're fine. Just look how much fun this is. Like, like kind of like you would say to a little kid. Because the minute they think that you're concerned, then they'll become concerned. So we just are like, we're on a train, we're having a train ride. This is so much fun. Oh my gosh, you're such a lucky dog. Whatever is more encouraging than reassuring. So Any other questions? It's 7:06. I'm gonna put my number in the chat for anybody who has questions. I know some of you already have my number. Obviously, if it's a health problem with your dog, please call the office first. And they will handle that. But if it's a training question, you can reach out to Laura or myself. Let's see. Let me see Laura's number. There it is. Okay, I'll put Laura's in here too, for those of you that may not have it. I tend to do text better, but I do answer phone calls. Sometimes I'm just tutoring and I can't, but if you text me, I can text easier sometimes. But we want to be available to you. We want to make sure that you're being successful with your dog. So don't wait until a problem has gotten out of control before you call. Call when you think, uh-oh, this might be a problem, and let somebody know so we can walk you through it. That's what we're here for. We're here for you guys to be successful with your dog so that you'll want to keep doing this. So any other questions? If you, that video is on YouTube. I somehow got rid of it, but it is a YouTube video. I watch Zach George a lot. And it's ZAK. That wasn't Zach George. That actually was McCann Training, which I find them to be very helpful too. Just remember, any trainer that you YouTube or listen to a podcast, that you want to keep in mind what our commands are. So, because some of them don't use the same. So just be aware of that. Other than that, I think Laura made announcements, right? You guys have an in-person training coming up, and our next Q&A will be the last Tuesday of the month? It's in May. I think it's the third Tuesday. Hold on. So this is May. Yeah, I think it would be the 23rd. May 23rd would be the next Q&A Zoom. So
It's in the newsletter, and I'll send out a reminder email as it gets close.
okay. So thank you all for joining us. I hope this was useful and beneficial. Please make sure that you are reaching out if you have any questions. Other than that, we're done. Yay.
I had a question for Caitlin. Is Caitlin still on?
Yeah.
I'm here.